Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome to all the guests. We have a bunch of chashuv guests here. Want to remind the oil, and this is selling out nicely. Baruch Hashem, the new volume of Chulin. I don't know how many sold, but it looks like almost half. No? If you look closely, I don't know. I don't know the number. But also we have some big news, very big news. MDY Morocco donor appreciation trip. These are the supporters of MDY that help cover the significant portion of MDY's budget. Donors of 30,000 or more. If you donate 30,000 or more, then it costs $10,000 to go, which is below our cost, I think, but that's how it is, 30,000 or more. We're going to have be'erech 30 people, so it's going to be nice. If you want to be like Shamshi, last year you wanted to go on the Serengeti trip, so he coughed up, last year was $20,000. Are you going to do it this year? He's debating. It was so gishmak. Was it worth?
Yeah.
It was the best dukkah you ever spent. What?
The anxiety with the weather.
The anxiety with the weather. 3 weeks before he's checking the weather. All right. Check this. They have a video for it. Let me see. I didn't see it yet. Bol V'neitze. They won. Marrakesh. That looks like Marrakesh to me. Okay. Good thing I didn't see this before. I think this is where Shabbos is, no? Thursday's where Shabbos. By invitation only. Givaldic. Rabbi said, here we go. Thank you for bringing the life. I only joined because of the reasons you provided not to join at the beginning of Menachos. That's why I do this thing in the beginning of Masechtas. The reason why he joined is because I said what are the negatives of the daf? Why people say not to do the daf? That resonated with me. I'm an Iyun guy. It goes in one ear and out the other. I don't remember anything, etc. Thing your belly. Moshe. No, those are the reasons. I'm an Iyun guy. He goes in one ear, the other. I don't remember anything. So because of that, he joined. Moshe Abu Hatzera, New Rochelle, New York. Morocco. Rabbi said we made it into a few cartoons yesterday. The snow day, 2026 snow day. You have Nachi Gordon on the right. And this is the Frum side. Mendy sent this to me last night. This is Shai Stern. Listen to this, Rabbi. Put on the volume a little bit.
I'm by the hotel 2 weeks ago on a Thursday at Dali Mincha.
Rabbi Shai Stern.
A friend of mine, Rabbi Yitzchak
Simcha Firestone sent it in.
We haven't seen each other in years. And I go, Rabbi, what's going on? He goes, I'm working for Aguda and I'm working on the Siyam HaShas. So then I said, you better have Eli Stefansky. It's really important to Siyam HaShas. They're teaching more Torah than anybody else. Siyam HaShas, Daf Yomi is go ahead and connect Jews, unify us Jews. That's only from Alavatim.
That's not why I put it
There's
up
a boy wearing a polo shirt. He's got muscles bigger than Schwarzenegger back in the 70s. And he says to me, he goes, you talking about Eli Stefansky? I said, yeah. He goes, I'm here at the coattail telling everybody.
He's talking about Shiraga.
Whether you can listen to MD1.
I didn't chab. Oh. Listen.
Yes!
Now I chab.
I said, why? Because I grew up in a Shomer Shabbos family, and I went off the derech. And there was a friend of mine that came to me a couple of years ago, and he said to me, you gotta listen to Eli Stefansky. And he watched one shiur. He came back with Shomer Shabbos. He was getting married in 2 weeks. And he said, I told you the story. I showed him the And he says, in honor of Eli Stefansky, that they can see him on an additional Masechta at my cousin's fish.
Wow.
At my cousin's fish.
Wow.
As a thank you to Eli Stefansky. Is there anything greater than being about Shuvah through Torah Kedosha through a block Gemara?
I received this video yesterday, and I got it from Mendy, and I was talking to Noam at the time. So I told Noam, let me find out who this chassan is. I could go to his wedding. Let me surprise him. So it turns out I went to his wedding. It was a little over, but I went. Wow.
He made a siyum on Chagiga
That, see, from here to there. Nachas. He made a siyum on Chagiga. Beautiful. Okay, so now it all... And I asked Mendy, I said, who is the chassan? Try to find out some more information. You did not find out for me. What a surprise. While I'm showing it. What a kiss from Hashem. Did I show you guys this one?
Rabbi Isai, even a snowman could learn in a blizzard. And he can also say, good morning, Rabbi Isai. Peter.
The Spirit Brothers in Passaic, New Jersey. I like this one a lot. This was a very good email, for me at least. It sounds like Yaakov Citron. It has everything. It starts with a Y, ends with a V, so it's like Yaakov Citron. Same name. Where's Yaakov? Dear Rav Stefansky, about a year ago, Sanhedrin 77, I joined your share and my life hasn't been the same since. I want to take a moment to tell you why. I was hearing you on the Meaningful People podcast and brought me back. And I say back because this wasn't my first attempt at Daf Yomi or even my first attempt with your share. But something was different this time. Your tagline, it's not about the Daf, it's about the Yomi, hit me in a way it never had before. It finally explained why I had failed. My previous goal had been to learn and understand every Daf from beginning to end. For someone who hadn't seriously learned Gemara since college, that's roughly the equivalent of strapping on skis for the first time and pointing yourself down a black diamond. Spoiler, it doesn't go well. But the Yomi changed everything. My new goal wasn't mastery, it was showing up. And starting in the middle of Masechta was actually perfect for that. Jumping in on Sanhedrin 77 meant I had no illusions about following everything. How could I? That lowered the bar in the best possible way. The mission became simple: build the habit. Understanding would come later. And come it did. Over time, you build the skills, you reacquaint yourself with old concepts, you meet new ones, and the satisfaction of working through a complex sugya and actually following it, that's real. That stays with you. Now let me tell you about the social media itch that Yeshir scratches. I'm 54 years old, so Baruch Hashem, I'm not part of the social media generation, but I'll admit, I've spent my fair share of idle time on video games and YouTube looking for something to fill a few minutes and end up choosing the least productive option available. Here's the thing though. When we say, Rashi explains that we must love Hashem with both our Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara. Well, I have weaponized my Yetzer Hara for Torah. When I finish a daf and check that box in the ArtScroll app, on the MDY webpage, on my magnetic fridge checklist, please make more of those. And in the WhatsApp retention group, I fed the beast with Torah. And now I find myself reaching for another Mishnah or a sif of Kitzur Shulchan Aruch in those same idle moments, just to check the box. When I have a few minutes free, instead of a Facebook reel that I mentioned on 54, I'll knock out another Mishnah or Kitzur Shulchan Aruch sif. That, the Yetzer Hara has been recruited. He works for us now. I also want to address something that comes up, the so-called basicness of Daf Yomi. Yes, the pace is fast. Yes, we don't always go deep. But here's the perspective I picked up while I was in Israel this past January, though of course you were in the US the entire time I was there, which I'm filling separately under complaints. Between Mincha and Ma'ariv, I sat on a chair where I heard something that stopped me cold. We need to learn as much Torah as possible in this world so that we can qualify for the Shir Menayel Mabah. If you never learned Zvachim while you were alive, you simply cannot learn with Hashem in the next world. There's nothing to remember. But if you learned it, even quickly, even imperfectly, even if you forgot it, when you arrive in Olam Haba, it comes back to you. The learning was never wasted. It was always an investment for the next cycle of Daf Yomi and for eternity. That reframed everything for me. Fast is fine. Broad is essential. And the practical payoff is real too. I recently began learning Be'iyun with Chavrusa, and I can tell you without hesitation, the vocabulary, the concepts, the feel of how a sugi moves, all of it came from Daf Yomi. What I thought was just keeping pace has turned out to be the very foundation I needed to go deeper. Daf Yomi doesn't replace serious learning. It makes serious learning possible. So thank you, Rav Eli. You gave me a framework that actually works, a share I look forward to, and a way to learn Torah every single day that fits who I actually am, not who I wished I was at 22. That is no small thing. Thank you truly for everything you do. The Yomi is real, and so is the gratitude. Psh. Regards, Yoav Citron Teaneck, New Jersey. Psh. A beauty. I love it. The official edition MDY Shas, the Daf, Akiva Kraus, in honor of my Eshet Chayil. Your support is my greatest motivation. Akiva, you don't even chap what Daf you picked here, in honor of your wife, one of the best in Shas. And please don't let her listen for the first 5 minutes of the Daf. She might not never let you sponsor again. The Kamiansky family. Listen, whoa, before you like, whoa, please daven for Charna Rosa Bat Miriam Mindel. Oh, Mendel, you going to daven? Avada, your aunt. The powwow team by the Thrive Midwest Conference in honor of Shuli and the Just Learn Torah team. What, they're doing another event? Didn't they just do an event? Yeah, always. The powwow team. Shlomi Litzman for a complete refuah shlema. Shterna Sarah Basfreda Chana treatment begins today. Daily sponsors anonymous in the memory of the 15 yard set of the Fogel family from Itamar. Eyod ben Mordechai. You guys read it.
Shalom. Yoav ben Eyod, Elad ben Eyod, Hadas Bas Eyod.
Shkoyach. Ari Simon, Eisner and Gutman families. In memory of Itzu Eisner, Yitzchok ben Yosef Eisner. In honor of his Shloishim, a Holocaust survivor who gave his life to teach the next generation. See the email. I didn't see the email. This is in honor of a birthday of Madasio Yosef ben Uri, Vial Polyavitz, Shigdal Torah Masim Toivim, the Yosevich family, last minute thingy. Yeah. Except the sponsor, David Salomon. Dedicated memory of Avi Marib Shmuel, Baruch Baruch Chaim Tzvi, Deutsche Chrono Bracha. Mesech the sponsors, Joel Gedalis, Lidish, my father, Jack Gedalis, anonymous. Haslacha Baruch Yisrael Gashmis, the Palchik Family Foundation, the Zechan Nishmas Rav Goyer, Shlomo Palchik, the Metchetzer Eloi. Anonymous, Refuah Shlema, Moshe ben Izah, anonymous for a complete Refuah Shlema, and Arichas Yom Leia Bas Esther, Yisrael Malki. Totally Dar Spichel Malki Zav Chesed. We're so proud of you. Yaakov Mordechai, keep steiging. Send the Grossman family. Canby Ireland, UK, in honor of Rebellion, you changed my meaning of life. Plenty Almighty. Yossi, Mark, and Benny, and all the Oiskim at Tzorchem DY, because Baruch Shalom Scharim. Official edition MDY Shas, Masechta by the Iranian Levi families. Perik, anonymous. Lili Nishmas Avi Moyer, Rabbi Chaim, Rabbi Yosef ben Bracha. Lamid Thomas Tavshin Pei. The monthly sponsors: Ayi Simon, Refuah Shlema, Avi Mori, Baruch ben Miriam, Jamie Azulai, Refuah Shlema, Esther Bass, Luna, Moshe Aaron and Miriam Landy, Hoyt Lashem Kitoy, Kilo El Chazdoi. Anonymous for the merit of Refuah Shlema for all Klal Yisrael who need Refuah Shlema. Saul Fisher in honor of Moshe is putting on tefillin. Anonymous for the merit of Refuah Shlema for Malka Baschaya. Centers.com helping Yidden down Betzibur or Papa Ben Yodim anywhere worldwide. Lili Nishmas Chaim Shalom Ben Betzalel. Weekly sponsors: Lev Avei staff therapist. Refuah Shlema to Moshe Ben Bracham and Isle of Lev Avei for selflessly donating his kidney. MDY Art month. Yosef Ben Chai Sar for Parnas Ben Rebbe. Refuah Shlema Yonatan Eitam Ben Shevet Bracha. Refuah Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther. Refuah Hayeled Daniel Zev Ben Hayeled Esther. All right, Rabbi Isai, here we go. Moyer the Gadaf today. And actually, we're going to get back, finally, we're going to get back to Kachim a little bit. We have a bunch of Agadata to start off. A story happened where a guy goes to Miron, he rents a house, he rents a zimmer, and he gets there and there are no mezuzahs on the door. So he's furious, and he looks, last minute, asks around, and he gets a place for Shabbos. Last mamish, a nace, he got a place for last minute. And Moshe Shabbos, he refuses to pay the first guy. So you gave me a place without a mezuzah, what's wrong with you? Does he have a taina or not? Who's right, who's wrong? Here's the trick. Let me tell you, I say the story again. He rented a zimmer. Oh, for Shabbos.
Okay.
You rented a zimmer. Zimmer is like a hotel. It's not chayiv really in a mezuzah.
The zimmer has to have a lock on the door.
No, a hotel doesn't need a lock on the door. Why does the zimmer need a lock on the door?
Hotel room without a lock on the door?
The halacha is halacha. If you need it, you need. Let's see. Tanya, we're holding 5 lines from the bottom of Mem Gimel Amud Beis. Tanya Rimei Omer. These are things we're familiar with. It comes from these Gemaras. Chayav Odom Levarech Meya Brachas B'chol Yom. There's a chiyuv to make 100 brachas a day. Shenemar V'ato Yisrael Mo Hashem Elokecha Shalom Yimach. Mo is a lashon of Meya, of 100. That's one pshat in Rashi. So here are the 100 brachas. You say by Shema Hamapel, that's 1. Netilas Yadayim in the morning in Ashi Yotzar, it's 3 already. And then the 16 Birkas HaShachar. 16. The chap is, I don't know if people realize, why do we say these 16 brachas? Because the Maisa, we have to give no, because we want to get to 100. They were misaking these 16, so we could easily get to 100. 3 birkas HaTorah. Since it's in Tefillin, and there's another 3. Unless you're Sephardi or Gra, so it's only 2. Baruch Shamar and Shtabach. The birkas Kriya Shema, and they include the Yiru Inenu for everybody in Chutz La'aretz. Here in Eretz Yisrael, you're missing one. Shemon Esrei, even though it's called Shemon Esrei, it's really 19 brachas times 3. And then you have different brachas at the Suda. Not mentioned there anything about Asher Yotzar. I don't know. Okay?
No, bro. More times.
More times during the day. Okay? Zog the Gemara. Rav Chia Bereder Rav Avio. And now we have a problem. B'Shabsu b'Yom Tavi. What do you do on Shabbos and Yom Tov? You're missing almost 40 brachas. The Shemon Esreis are shorter. There's no tefillin. You're missing 39 brachas based on the cheshbon. Torach u'memalu b'spar maki u'magdei. So you would fill it up with making brachas on psamim, like we do like on Yom Kippur. A lot of people do psamim to wake themselves up, but also for extra brachas. And eating like nash, megadim, cakes, fruit, shon tzivik, Shabbos party. According to some Rishonim, like the Rosh, there's other ways to be mekayim the mitzvah, the brachas on Shabbos. What other brachas could you do on Shabbos? Kriyas HaTorah. Kriyas HaTorah. When you say Amen to all the brachas, you get another 8. Chazor Sashatz. Some say these are kulas Haftorah. No, Kriyas HaTorah also. Kriyas HaTorah. The Rosh says Kriyas HaTorah. Okay, it's like as if you're saying it. If you're mechaven by Chazor Sashatz, it's as if you're saying Chazor Sashatz. As if you're saying, you say Amen. I agree to this bracha. Great.
Do you have an extra 38 every day?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it's a kula. It's like b'di'evet sort of. You're not making it yourself. Another one. Chayiv Adam levarich shalish brachas b'chol yom. You have to make these 3 brachas every day. Elohe, Shosani Yisrael. So the reason why it says Shosani Yisrael is because of the censor. You can't write Shalo Yosani Goy when they're checking your Gemaras and very, very racist. So they wrote here Shosani Yisrael, but they changed it right away. Another reason is, so why isn't it Shosani Yisrael? Thank you Hashem for making me a Jew. The answer is because we're not happy that we were made at all. The famous Machlokes B'Sham B'Sil. It's better that we weren't created. So, okay, it's still maybe Nivra that Nivra Yisrael. Next one. Shaloi Osani Isha. We have more mitzvahs than a woman. So Baruch Hashem, we're not a woman. The famous in Gur, they don't say Isha. What does a woman say? A woman say no. A woman. What bracha does a woman make? Shosani kirtsoinoi. The mekabel the din, so to speak. Shosani kirtsoinoi. We have less mitzvahs. That's how Kodesh Baruch Hu wanted us. So they say in Gur, they say Shelo Yosani kirtsoinoi. They don't say Shelo Yosani Isha, because you now say the word Isha. It's a joke. Shelo Yosani kirtsoinoi. It's very good. Again, a woman says Shosani kirtsoinoi, and a man says, an American doesn't have Shaloi Osani kirtsoinoi. It's moirdik. It's very good. It's very, very good. The Israelis heard it. They understood it. They're not lumdish. You have to know the language. Next one. Shaloi Osani Bur. You didn't make me an Amaretz. A Bur. I don't know Chumash. I don't know Mishnah. The truth is, you could say this joke or whatever. You could say on this line also. How come you don't say Shaloi Sani Be'ema? Shaloi Sani Be'ema. You didn't make me a cow, because it's a chashash of bracha levatala. And over here, Over here also, Shalei Sani Bur might be a problem of Brach Levatala. I'm just throwing it out there. He heard his son making a bracha. Shaloi Sani Bur. Omarlei Kuli Hai Nami. What kind of bracha is that? Shaloi Sani Bur. A bur is also chayiv in mitzvahs. You're talking about who's chayiv and who's not chayiv in mitzvahs. So man is chayiv in more mitzvahs than a woman, so you make a bracha. You're chayiv in more mitzvahs, you make a bracha. Bur or not bur, you're chayiv. Says the Gemara, Amarlei velamai mevarach. So what should you say? He says, Shaloi osani oved. You make a bracha that you didn't make me a slave. Ask the Gemara, Hainu Isha. Now, this guy that donated the daf, I don't want him to show his wife this Rashi. Do not look at Rashi. Rabbi say, please don't look at Rashi. Rashi Hainu Isha, that Rashi says, I'm just going to read the words and I'm not going to explain the Bechlal. The Isha Nami Shifcha, the Bala. In those generations, there was Nishtanu Hatvayim big time. We're going with the second pshat here. The art scroll completely ignores the first pshat, doesn't even bring it. It's not there. Look in the art scroll, you can't find it there. In the official edition, I think they also went a little. Okay, the truth is, a lot of people ask, well, I don't understand. Mamish nishtanu tfaim. You're more of a slave to your wife than she is to you. So the Ariel explains, it's very poshut that in our generation, he's talking about his generation, 400 years ago, we are all gilgulim of the Dara Midbar. And the Dara Midbar, the women didn't sin with the Egel. So he says that's why the women are shoyled on the men. Now, if in your marriage you feel it's a little different, you should just know that your wife is not from the Dara Midbar. So,
You're not from the Dara Midbar.
What?
You're not from the Dara.
You're not from the right, correct. Akapanim, the Pshat and Rashi that we're going to go with, to be politically correct, I don't want to insult the many women that. It used to be like embarrassing to tell me, oh, I watch daf. Now, wives of Rosh Hashivas came over to me. I watch your daf every day. A Hasidic woman at the Shabbaton, she came with her son to Shabbaton. She says, I sit with my son and we watch the daf every day. It's like, okay, I don't tell them what to do and who to do. I'm not teaching Torah to them. I'm teaching Torah whoever wants. It's their problem. A lot of them have left the shir right now as we speak. So the Rizal, yeah, okay, fine.
But what says that women in general don't come back as Gilgulim. In general, women, because on a higher level, don't come back as Gilgulim. That's
okay.
also the result.
So what's Hainu Isha? Hainu Isha means, if we're talking about mitzvahs, a woman and a slave have the same amount of mitzvahs. So what do you gain? Why you can't say the same bracha twice? You already said Shaloi Yisani Isha. Why are you saying Shaloi Yisani Ovid? Says Gemara, no, Eved Ziltfei. It's a different level, and that's why when we say the brachas, we go in a level. We go from the lower to the higher. So we say Shaloi Yisani Goy, Shaloi Yisani Ovid, and then finally Shaloi Yisani Isha. Taner Rabbanon Chilazin Zeh Doimeliyam. Now, if you're going to go with Gufay Doimeliyam, his body is like similar to the ocean. If you're going to go with the Ptil Tchelet and all these other people that claim that this is the Tchelas, you're going to have a hard time explaining this Gemara. They don't like, they come up with all sorts of different explanations. It's similar to the Yam. So the meaning would be, maybe the blood that comes out of him is similar to the ocean, has like a blue dye. Ubriyosei doimeladag. His body is in the shape of a fish. How to explain that exactly? So I once did a whole thing to try to explain it. They try to explain it. This is a chilazah, this is head, this is a tail, kind of, a fish also goes in such a shape. They have all sorts of explanations. Or doimeladag, that it lives in the ocean, it's a aquatic creature. It's hard to get it. Even the Gemara in Shabbos says that they used to put out nets to catch it. Maybe it does surface, it comes out of the water once every 70 years, meaning it's very rare to see it. It's hard to get to it. And with its blood, you make tchelas. That's why it's super expensive. Found this video. I asked Kobe to take out the sound. There's a woman talking here, so I took out her sound, and just to explain why it's super expensive. The thing that he says all the way at the end of the video is mind-boggling. Here we go.
The good thing is that the gland is located right under the shell.
Explains you can't hit it too hard, you can't do it too soft. If it's the real thing, so everybody in empty words, you know how to do it. When the chef comes, and boom. Also, what's interesting is here, what he says here. He's trying to make purple, not blue. So what's interesting is he keeps it indoors. He doesn't let the sun hit it, because if he lets the sun hit it, it turns blue. He says. That he's that guy, but I said this guy's real. This guy does this for a living. He makes dye. This guy lives in, I forgot, Tunisia
So
or
now
whatever.
we're just
this guy's not Jewish. This guy's a guy that makes
pH.
dye.
It's about 8, which is perfect.
It looks different than now. Okay. And over here he says he covers it and he makes sure that it shouldn't see the sunlight. Oh, here it goes.
And this is how the color will gradually start to develop.
Oh, here. This is what I want you guys to hear.
It took me like 8 months to produce, and it required like 800 pounds of fresh snails, and this is still not completed.
800 pounds of snails. So you have to go down and grab 800 pounds worth of the stuff. So that's why it's super expensive. That's why back in the day it was only for kings, for melucha, and that's one of the reasons they didn't allow people to use tchelas then.
Today's the last day for the coupon.
Today's the last day? Here, let me. Today's the last day. If anybody wants the 50% off, it's right over here. Is it 50 for new people, 25 for... It's 50 for everybody?
I just got
50.
something on here.
Okay. Tanya, Omar Rebbe Nosson. Ein lecha kol mitzvah kala sheksuva b'Torah sheimatan schor ba'olam hazeh u'la'olam haba ini yidei kama. Again, Omar Rebbe Nosson, ein lecha kol mitzvah kala sheksuva b'Torah. Even a light mitzvah like tzitzis, easy to look at. If you're looking at it, you're talking about a re'isim moiser, to look at it, that mitzvah. Even to purchase it, it's simple. Today you go online, you punch in a code, it comes to your house, you go to the store. It's easy to a lot easier than getting an esrei, let's say. You have to go, you don't have to log it, check. It just comes, it goes. I mean, although Noam does sell a esreigim on Amazon, that's a different story. You even get schar in this world. You can't fathom how much schar you get in the world to come. Again, the Vilna Gaon. I could buy tzitzis in this world for a few prutas, but you can't do it in Olam Haba. Rabbi Isai, here comes one of the most famous stories in Shas, and to me, it's one of the most powerful stories in Shas. As a matter of fact, when I said the story over yesterday in the Hebrew, I was very emotional. And I mamish missed things that I wanted to say. They're written in my Gemara on pieces of paper. God, I just didn't see it. I was chaval, missed the opportunity. Hopefully I'll say it now. Look, here's a story from the mitzvahs of tzitzis. There's a story with a person. He was super careful with tzitzis. He heard about a famous Zaina that lived very, very far away, very high demand. When the Gemara says arba me'ois, usually it's an exaggeration, a crazy amount of money. Shigur law, arba me'ois zuvim, this Baltaiva sends her the money, wires her the money. V'kavel azman, so you get an appointment. Kishigia azmanoi came, Bo v'yoshev al Pesach. He came to the door. I don't know why all this arichas. He came to the door, knocked on the door. They brought him in. There must be something here. I don't know what. The Gemara wants to point out that she was super wealthy. She had a slave that worked for her. That guy seems like it was not everybody. Maybe he fell for it. I don't know. He was desperate. He overpaid. That guy that sent you the money is here. Let him come in. Nichnas. He comes in. This is important to the story. She had 7 beds, like bunk beds, one on top of the other. Sheishel kesef. 6 were made out of silver, super expensive. Va'achas shel zav, a bed made out of gold. Ubein kol achas va'achas sulam shel kesef. And in between each level there was a ladder. Ve'el yoyna shel zav, and the upper ladder was made out of gold. This is not like a mashal. This is real, as the Gemara is going to say later. Also, v'yashva al gabi el yoynik shiaruma. She went to the top one. She was undressed. V'afhu ala leisha v'arim kenegdon. He also went up there with her. Says the Gemara, Nes, Nigla happened. Those tzitzis that he was super careful with, he even went to the Zaina with it. He didn't bother to remove it. Not like when you're in shul and all of a sudden you get a zetz from the guy in front of you. They looked at him and they patched him upon him. They gave him a smack in the face. He says, "Oh wow, this is serious. This is malid l'derech hateva. This is not a normal thing." Nishmat v'yoshev lo yagav karka. He realized that he shouldn't be doing what he's doing, so he got off the bed. He sat down on the ground. So she went and she got off also and she sat down next to him. And she says to him, she made a shvua in the name of the Caesar of Rome. I'm not going to leave go of you until you tell me what flaw did you see in me? Everybody tells me I'm perfect, top in the world. I'm swearing back to you. I have never seen a more beautiful woman than you. So what's the problem? There's a mitzvah in the Torah, it's called tzitzis. Because of Ba, it says about tzitzis, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, shtei pa'amim. Now he's giving her a Dvar Torah over there, sitting on the floor. It says in the Torah, Ani Hashem Elokeichem. Let me tell you pshat, he tells the Zaina. Ani hu sha'asli para, v'ani hu sha'asli sham sachar. He learned the drasha. No, it's not brought in our Gemara yet. Maybe he's mechadish it on the spot. HaKadosh Baruch Hu twice. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give a punishment to those who don't obey him. And on the flip side, he's going to give a lot of sachar. Achshav nidmo like harba edim. He changes it a little bit. He doesn't say they smacked me in the face. They're like 4 witnesses. Those tzitzis, this Nes Nigla, he tells her, Nes Nigla happened. They smacked me in the face. Now these 4 tzitzis that smacked me in the face, they're going to be like witnesses. They're alive and well. Mamish, more than Eidim, double the Eidim Asra. Arba Eidim. I can't get away from them. Amrlai, I need all your details. What's your name? What city do you live in? Who's your Rosh Hashiva? And what's the name of the yeshiva Shatalamed boy? Now this guy, first of all, this guy's a yeshiva bacher. This guy's not a stam guy. This guy came out of yeshiva. And he went to Karcha Hayam, he took a ship, who knows where, with his tzitzis, with his shmeina begadim, with his levush. And she wants to know all the details. You're not leaving here until you give me your Rosh Hashiva's name and number. Zog the Gemara, Chosav v'nosam b'yada. To me, it seemed like when I learned it last night in Shir, it sounded like a get. V'chosav v'nosam la. I need to get out of here. She's holding on to me, b'shvua. She's making my life miserable. Here, take all the info. This is my name. This is my number. I'll see you later. Zaykizun, let me go. Amda v'chil, says the Gemara, crazy thing happened there. Amda v'chilka kol nechaseh. She was very wealthy, and she divided up all her belongings so that she'd follow this bacher back to the yeshiva. Shlish l'malchus. She gave 1/3 to the kingdom, says Rashi, to bribe the king, to bribe the local authorities. They're not going to let her out. First of all, They need her there for her profession. But they didn't want to let her go. So she gave Shlish Menachos. The famous Maisa here in Bet Shemesh, should have it here in Bet Shemesh. There was a bid war on one of these bridges over here. And they brought, the Arab guy says he's going to do it for 100 million shekel. So I had to say, well, how do you get to 100 million? He says, what? Just the material cost 80, and I have to make some profit, 20 million. The Russian guy comes, he says, 200 million shekel. Why 200? He says 80 for the material, I need 120 profit. The Jew comes, he says 300 million shekel. 3 of us? He says 100 million so I can pay the Arab to do it for me. 100 million for me and 100 million for you. So they got the job. Shlish Menachos. You have to give a third to the government. That's a given. It's not a joke. It's a Maisa Shahaya Kol Yom.
That's not Shekamat Toya.
No, it's not Shekamat Toya. Rabbi said, why is this one of the most powerful stories in Shas? Right over here. She gave Shlish Laniyim. She gave Tzedakah. She wanted to be successful. She wanted to work. She knew that she has to do something positive, that she could do tshuva and give to the poor. Ushlish not biyada. You can't be a meshugana. You can't just give everything away. You got to live. So she left a third for herself. Chutz ma'osim atzayis. She also didn't give away all the gold, the gold bed, the silver beds. Ubas lebeis midrashish rebechia. She had the address. She knew who he was. She knew where to go. She comes to the yeshiva. Omer Eloi, she tells the Rosh Yeshiva, Rebbe, I want to become a convert. I want to become a giyoris. Omer Eloi, Biti, he calls her mamish in an affectionate way. Biti, my daughter. She's still a guy. You're not allowed to become a giyoris if you want to marry somebody. For shidduch. Yesterday's story about the Meir Eglaim, the elevator, is just a shminis of the bush over here. A Zayna comes to the Rosh Yeshiva and says, your Talmud, Pliny Almighty, with the whole name here. This is even his handwriting. He came to me. He traveled, he said he was sick for 3 weeks. No. He was on a trip to Europe and he came to visit. Here, this is his name. Omar Law. Seder. If that's the reason, if you're becoming a Giyar is because of the Nes Nigla that happened over here, you realize there's the Rebbeinu Shalom. You can become a Giyaris. L'chi zechi b'mikochech. I want you to marry him. Unbelievable. You see that every single person in this world could do tshuva. Everybody could do tshuva. Even the Zaina. Who else was a Zaina that married a Jew? Rachav. She married Yeshua. And even the Bacher realized that what he did was wrong. He right or he stopped. He could always do tshuva. So Zok the Gemara, those beds that she offered him to do a Isuran, Hitziloi Beheter. She told him to do a Beheter. This reminds me of the famous Vilna Gaon. I said it a few times, but over here I want to add a knetch. The Vilna Gaon says that a person is born with a certain amount of hana that he's going to have in this world. The Rabbeinu Yoina, I don't know if it's the Rabbeinu Yoina. Could be. If it is, show me. Some Gadol Hadar said, either a Rishon or Achron, said that a person is born with a certain amount. It's limited, his hana. And he could choose to do his hana be'isr or beheter. But just because you do it be'isr, when you eat that hamburger in the airport, that cheeseburger, you're not going to gain anything. Because you just took off the smorgasbord in what's his name? In the Marina Del Rey. You're going to miss that ride over there. When you come, it's going to be closed down. You're not going to gain that hana. And over here, maybe you could add even more. You see that when a person is mizgaber on his taiva, he doesn't go for the taiva, then his hana, then all of a sudden you could add. I want to be mechadish something here. Let's say a person gets 100 pounds of hana in his life. That's what Hashem said, you're going to get 100 pounds. So it's locked out at 100. Over here the Gemara says, no, you could add, you could make it 130 also. How? By you being misgaber on your taiva, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives it to you beheter. Over here this guy went for a one-time thing, it was one isser. Over here she married him. Not only did she marry him, so he has her beheter forever, plus he got paid millions of dollars. He got the bed, the golden bed and everything. She came in, she's wealthy. It's a big chiddush. Says the Gemara, this is a yid who's makbid on tzitzis. He got his full reward in this world. And I want to add now, no, it's something I didn't say yesterday. It's just pashut, as I'm reading it now. What's the matan schar? The matan schar is that it saved him, not the millions of dollars. It saved him from the aveira. Rashi says, it's interesting, Rashi says, what's the matan schar? The beds. It doesn't say he married her. For whatever reason, maybe it means the same thing, they go into it. But over here, it seems like matan schar ba'olam hazeh, that this actually saved him from a big aveira. Forget the money, the millions that he made off it. Could you imagine if this is in this world, what happened in the world to come? Gewaldig. There's a little bit of a video here to bring it down to our, you don't want to ruin it, but this just to bring it to our musagim. No. The problem is not what you think it is. The problem is something else completely. How could you make it even worse than this? But just to explain that to Americans, over here in Eretz Yisrael, before Purim, when Adar comes around, you start getting knocks every 14 minutes on your door. And the first thing you do is you go to the people and you check who it is, and you usually see two younger Bachrim there. What are they coming for? Tat. This is to help the Bachrim Yeshiva to buy clothing. So here we go. That part is very accurate. The next part is completely off. Okay, everything great so far. They want 12,000 each bacher. Shir Gimel. Doesn't want to take the money from the gambling. Tzitzis told him not to. Wow. So give it beheter. All right. Dr. Gemara. As long as I see Reb Willig have a no in the back over there, it's good. It's good. I just want to say a quick Shalom Aleichem. Shalom, what's your name? Yitzhak. From? Baltimore. Shalom Aleichem. Nice to meet you. There's a Heisman Dalton in the back. Anybody want to say? Mechel, ask him what his name is. No, Daphne. Okay, what about you? You want to say your name? No. You? What about you all the way in the back holding the... What?
The right and the name of
Over here.
Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Shalom from? Oh, got it. So who does the daf? You or him or neither? You're trying it out. Gewaldig. Great. Both? What? You both do the daf. Gewaldig. Thank you for coming. Your name? You want to say your name? What's your name? Every day I ask you? Rosenthal. From? Mishkafayim. Oh, that's right. You hold your glasses last time also. And I said, yeah, Mishkafayim. Gewaldig. Zog the Gemara. Om Rabbi Yudo, talis shula, kol shloishim yoyim p'tur min hatzitzis. If you borrow a talis from somebody, a beggar from someone, you don't have to put on tzitzis. There's a nice shaila that they ask about Purim. Does a Purim kasim need tzitzis? Let's say it has dalet kanfas. Does it require tzitzis? I don't see why not. But some people might think, listen, you bought it in China, it just came out, you pulled it out of the package, you're only wearing it for a few hours, just throwing it out. Something to think about. Mikan ve'elach chayeves, if you borrow clothing for more than 30 days, you're chayev and tzitzis m'derabbanan. Tani namehachi, hadar bepundiki b'eretz Yisrael. I know of a person, I said hello to him a bunch of times. Every time I go to the Waldorf, he's there. And I realized this guy's there. I used to go to the Waldorf every time my father-in-law came to Eretz Yisrael, and that was very often. And the guy's there 4 or 5 times a year. How's it? So I went over, Shalom Aleichem, what's going on? He said he has a place in Borough Park or something. He wants to move to Eretz Yisrael. 4 years later, the guy's still there in the wall. He lives in the Waldorf. Mamish, in the Waldorf. A guy that I know now from Ariel, from Chicago. He sold his house, has nowhere to go now, lives in the Waldorf. There's such a thing. The mazel is that there's mezuzahs on the Waldorf door. But if not, you would have to provide a mezuzah over there. Hador bepundiki b'Eretz Yisrael. If you live in a hotel in Eretz Yisrael, v'hasorcha bayis b'chutz la'aretz, you know Ariel. I don't know what. Cheap, not cheap. If you rent a house in Chutz La'aretz, you don't have to put up a mezuzah for 30 days. Rashi says, because you might regret it, you might want to back out of it. So they discuss, what if you know for sure you're not, you're stuck in a lease, maybe you are chayv right away. Mikam ve'ilach, chayv. More than 30 days, you're chayv mezuzah. If you rent a house in Eretz Yisrael, you should put a mezuzah right away. A very interesting halacha occurred to me yesterday. A lot of times, like I spend a lot of money on my stam, on mezuzahs. So let's say I have $200 mezuzahs, just for argument's sake. I sell my house. I'm under contract. I don't want to give the guy the $200 mezuzahs. I have to give him mezuzahs, but I have to give him $200. So I put a $25, a $50 mezuzah in there. Let him worry about it. Not allowed. Not allowed. That's what it came out yesterday. I was shocked. Why? You're looking at me like crazy. Because when you write a contract, it includes all the stuff on the walls. It includes the fixtures. You cannot change out a fixture now. I want to take this chandelier, I'm going to put in a cheaper Home Depot one. It doesn't work like that. Once you sign the contract, it's in. You're locked into what's on the wall. You're locked into what's on the wall. It includes the mezuzah. Ask your local rabbi, I'm throwing this out. Because to me, it didn't make sense. Let me just switch it out. I'm not a to give the mezuzahs. No. It's included. And I looked it up also, the legal law in America is the mezuzah is included in your contract. That's Dover Project. I forgot what it's called. Items that are part of the house. It's attached to the wall. Attached to the wall. What? Okay. Fixtures. Yeah, fixtures on the wall. Weiter. Sorry, yeah. So we learned in the Mishnah that if you only have one of the two tefillin, you have shorosh or shayat, put it on. I skipped.
Nope.
We want him to stay there. Maybe I missed those words. I wanted to stay there. Put your mezuzah. Now you have to switch out the mezuzahs. This halach of switching out mezuzahs, Rashi brings down. That's why I remembered it. And you'll live in Eretz Yisrael, the Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. If you just wear the tefillin of yad, even though you don't have a shorosh. If you have both and you want to wear one, it's like if you have both, so you only wear one out of two. Okay. It's a halacha that's very hard to understand, and the Gemara is going to take it back right away. If you don't have two, do not wear one. If you only have one, don't wear that one. Why? The Gemara is going to explain later. Amar la Marta, you said such a thing. Amar lu, no, I'm taking it back. Ella mandalesle trey mitzvah is chad mitzvah nameloy evid. This I'm telling you, tell people, go over to people that are not so observant, or especially kids that go off. I tell it to them, they love it. Besides the Shabbos, I told it to my niece. She's like, oh, you're not telling me any chidushim. Avad, I do what you're saying. I said, go over and I said, listen. Sometimes a person has a taiva to be Mechal Shabbos, but it doesn't mean it's all or nothing. Just because you start out the day being Mechal Shabbos doesn't mean you can't keep 5 minutes. Try to keep 5 minutes. Push it. Of course I do that. Vada. Okay, most people didn't tell that to me. Most of these guys, the younger guys, they said, really? You could do that? I said, yeah. Not during your sleep. Try to do it while you're awake. Say, Rebbeinu Shalom, I have a taiva, I need a smoking shot. But these 5 minutes, I'm not. Rebbeinu Shalom loves that stuff. That's what the Gemara says here. Because you can't do two, don't be a perfectionist. Because you can't do two, so you won't do any. That makes no sense. Do one out of the two.
What do you say with the
Yes, same thing with the daf, same thing with everything else. Ein kam mokim laharach. Elamand lesli trei mitzvos, chad mitzvah nami lo lehevet. You shouldn't do one. So what was What was Rav Chisda thinking to begin with? If you tell a guy you could get away with one, he won't do it at all. He won't go buy the other one. What did I say? I don't know what I said. I'm in a rush. If you tell a guy you could just wear one, he'll stay with one for the rest of his life. I didn't see this once. I'm watching it with you for the first time. It's a talis shula. It doesn't look like it has its tzitzis in that hole. Right. But it looks like it does.
There are no strings on your talis.
Maybe a little louder, Gershon? Mach tzitzis, lof tilim. Or Rav Sheshes. Kol she'enoi meniach tefillin over b'shmoineh aseh. If you don't wear tefillin, you're over on 8. Where do you have 8? Because you have 2 assays in the Torah. Ukshartam v'ayu l'teitafos. Times the 4 parshias that you wear is 8. V'chol she'en lo tzitzis b'vigdoi over b'chamisha asay. If you don't have tzitzis, look at these 5. V'asulem tzitzis, v'nosnu al tzitzis, v'hayu lachem tzitzis. What else is there? V'risim ha'isai. And you saying gedilim tasilach. So these are the 5. B'chol koyen, if you're Danny Fine or Rabbi Schoenberg, you don't do duchening for us. Where's David? He's not here today. We need a kohen. What are the 3 averes that a kohen get? Down in the first minion, not good. So we need a kohen. Koisavarchus b'nei Yisrael is 1. Emor lahem yivarechacha Hashem. And v'samu shmiya b'nei Yisrael. These are the 3 that if you're there, not if you're at home, but if you're in the shul and you don't do duchening, you're over in these 3. If you don't have a mezuzah in your doorway, over b'shnei asay over uchsaftam twice it says you're over on 2 averes. Kol hameniach tefillin marach yomim. If you wear tefillin all day, not one time, you wear it all the time. Marach yomim, it's a zgula of arichus yomim shenemar Hashem aleim yichyu. So the Gemara's darshaning Hashem means the tefillin that are on you. Hashem Hashem Yudke Shakai. That's on your head, aleim yichyu. We'll give you life. Aleim yichyu l'chol b'hem, l'chol b'hen chayi ruchi v'sachnimeni v'chayeni. It'll bring you back to life, so to speak. Turning of the daf. Adar Global, happy clients all year, not just this month. L'shadich.com. Please read a shidduch today. Rabbi Sai, here we are. Daf Mendalanam Beis. Back to Kachim. Geschmack. I missed Kachim. I don't know how long it was, like 3 weeks or something. A guy wrote me an email today. He's like, he started Daf Lamed. He's loving it. Mamish every day. I didn't want to tell him. It's Mem Dalet today, Rabbi Yid. We're doing Kachim today. He thought the whole Shas. He's like, wow, this is unbelievable. It's Mamish Mechazik me. My whole life changed already. Yeah. Story after story.
It's about to change back.
Keep on going, Rabbi Yid. Keep on going. No, we're going to have a lot of fun Gemaras in the future, but here we go. Back to Menachos. Soilis v'Hashemen. A person who brings either an oila or shlomim, it comes together with other things. You bring it with flour, with wine, with oil. We're continuing with the theme. How do we get into all this agadta? Because the theme of the last parak was things that are ma'akev and things that are not ma'akev one another. Right? So we said that tchelis v'alav, and this is, we started with tchelis because tchelis is not ma'akev the love, and love is not ma'akev the tchelis. In other words, you can do one without the other. Tefillin, the rosh, is not ma'akev the yad, and the yad is not ma'akev the rosh. Excuse me. They're independent mitzvahs. And now we're continuing with that theme. The flour is independent of the wine. So you could bring the flour one day and bring the wine the next day. You could bring it. You don't need to have everything together. You can bring the wine without the. It's also on different days. By the way, you could also bring a carbon mincha, like a nesachim by itself, without the karbanas. But we're talking about with the oila, with the shlabim. Hamatana shal mizbeach. We're referring to the blood that's sprinkled on the mizbeach. We spoke about this extensively. Here's a Vremi Kohen in the mashal. putting a Nesina, it's very narrow over there. So let's say he forgets. He got, they called him up, they said they have a major issue with the computer here in MDY. He runs off the Mizbeach after he did one application. That's okay. The owner gets a kapara, even though in a chatas you have to do 4 applications, and all other karbanos you have to do 2, which are 4. 1 is beseder. It's not the best thing, but that's what happened, that's what happened. Here, this is the Mizbeach HaChitzon, the outer Mizbeach. So if you put 1 application here, instead of doing all 4, or you spray it on Shnayim Shem Arba, it hits the corner and grabs 2 walls, that's enough, even though you're supposed to do it on this wall as well. Says the Gemara, Torah Rabbana. So we have a simple Gemara here. Just, how do we know what comes first? Does the flour come before the wine, or the wine comes before the flour? So the Gemara brings a pasuk to show it this way, and Rebbe says, no, the different pasuk shows it this way. Then the Gemara says, okay, but then what does each person do with the other person's pasuk? So says the Gemara, it's very, very simple. First bring the flour, then the wine. Rebbe Yomi the opposite. Zevach u'nesachim. First you bring the carbon, the zevach, and then what do you bring immediately afterwards? Wine, nesachim. To show the oilam, there's nesachim. You pour the wine over here, there's 2 shitim over there. This is on top of the mizbeach, you pour it, okay. That comes immediately after the carbon. Before, says Rebbe, before the flour. Now we have to understand what Rabbanan say, umen chasam, you bring the flour, then comes v'niskem, then comes wine. So it says flour comes first. So what does each one do with the other person's puzzle? Flour comes before wine. You can bring it also at night. You can bring it the next day. He learned something else from it. But what did Rabbanan do with the Rebbe's puzzle? It seems like immediately after the carbon, you bring wine, and then only afterwards, step 3 is to bring the flour. That comes to say another halacha. Everybody in this room would think that when does the wine become kaddish? When you put it into that special klisharis over here. Yoshi did it funny. It has like a see-through because he wants you to see what's in there. It's wine, and this one has oil, but obviously that's not the way it is in the Beis Hamikdash. But this is a klisharis. It's a golden vessel. You put oil in there, boop, it becomes kaddish as you put it in. No. It becomes kaddish after you shech the carbon. That's it. That's a zeiri. Rebbe Nami Boy like the Ziri, but Rebbe also has to learn it from somewhere. It's pasha that's how it works. How does he know it? And Rabban need to know, how do you know that I can bring a mincha the next day? Oh, so we're taking it back. First you bring a carbon, then afterwards you bring the flour. Step 3 is what? Wine. What does he do with the pasuk? Ella, we're doing another thing. When they all come, all 3 of them together, everything on this table right here, you have a carbon, flour, and wine. Everybody agrees there's one order. How do you do it? The mincha first comes the flour, wine is number 3. That it says in the pasuk. First comes the carbon, the oil, then comes the flour. Afterwards comes the wine. If it comes by itself without a carbon, now what? You brought the carbon on Sunday. On Monday you want to bring the flour and the wine. Now we have an argument. We already established the order. Flour comes before wine. It doesn't matter when you bring it. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. First comes flour, then comes wine. Easy, no? You brought an oil onto the mizbeach, that's called eating. The mizbeach is eating, so to speak. So therefore you got to finish up with the food stuff. What's food? If you have 2 items in front of you, flour and wine, which one of them is food? Flour, so it goes flour. But when it comes by itself, wine has more importance than flour. So that's why when they come by themselves, I say do wine first. Because you have to say the Leviim sing, and when they sing, that singing that they do with the oila and with the wine makes it more choshev than the flour. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.